Useful greenery. How to paint it without additional brushes you keep downloading and purchasing but can't memorize. I will show you how to paint a meadow full of grass, flowers, and cute sandy road on a sunny day in Procreate using only one default Tamar brush. How to optimize the process without using stamp brushes. This approach is useful for painting vegetation for illustrations and background images, and can be easily adopted by a beginner artist, since it doesn't require any particular painting skills, and is quite easy in realization. So basically, all you need is your iPad and Procreate. Tamar brush can be easily found under the painting section in default Procreate library. Everything I will discuss further can be used in any program for digital painting. It's going to be a series of videos about painting nature. Episodes on clouds, rocks, trees and bushes are already on my channel, so don't forget to check them after you will finish with this one. My razor is a flat brush. Its sharp edge is quite handy when I need to achieve a thin looking separate grass blade. Tamar brush has a sand-like texture that is suitable for painting soil and soft pencilish flow that is just perfect for free sketchy lines. I prefer to use it for my daily sketches. Feel free to choose any hard brush here. Simple round one and flat one are also perfect for the job. I strongly recommend to avoid usage of soft brushes and as much tools, since we want to achieve hard edges and a high quality looking final result. I normally keep my opacity around 100%. This is a parameter I rarely vary and prefer to use brushes that are sensitive to pen pressure. Canvas size is quite big as usual, is 3500 pixels by 1500 pixels, but you may pick any that fits your creative style. Don't forget to turn on two useful Procreate windows. Reference can be found under Range menu, Canvas, and Color wheel. Simply drag it into a desirable spot on your working area. My name is Lily and welcome to my channel. So pour yourself something to drink and let's paint some grass here. I start drawing a simple curve to define a road. Since we are drawing a meadow here, there is not much drawing involved. So from this moment we will continue with pure painting. This step can be easily skipped just by using a lasso tool for the same purposes. But I hope some initial line art will be a bit more eye-friendly and intuitive. I will add samples of the colors I use above my painting. Right now we need a bright green and some sandy beige color for the road. We don't bother with details, all we need to put major masses of color on the canvas. The palette will be enriched a bit later, so don't worry about it. My next step is to define lighted and darkest areas of the meadow. Let's imagine that there are clouds above the grass. So some grass will be bright and heavily lighted, and other patches will be under the shadows from the clouds. Another moment that we need to bear in mind is aerial perspective. The objects that are far from us appear lighter, cooler in terms of color, and less saturated, probably even hazier. So we don't work on details on the grass patches that are far from the viewer. Consider the whole field as an area filled with patches of grass. Try to put slightly different color on each area, but keep in mind that lighted areas have to stay lighted, and those that are in shadow will stay generally darker. Time to add some grass blades here and there to create an illusion of grass. Remember not to draw all the separate sprouts and stems, work just with big areas and add some brush strokes above. Let's add some flowers. Since there is a blooming summer meadow, feel free to pick any colors you want and draw them on a separate layer above the one with the grass. Use very simple brush strokes, little triangles, dots of various sizes, ovals. We will merge them later when we are happy with the result. Bear in mind that all the flowers that are closer to you are bigger and more detailed. Feel free to add some petals. Everything you draw that is farther from you will be hazier rather than areas closest to the viewer, with the flowers with separate steps and flower buds. Now I want to add few big rocks on the field. I have a separate video tutorial on painting realistic rocks, where I gave a detailed explanation on how to paint them in a quick and effective way. Check the link above. Don't forget to cover them with grass and sprinkle with some sand, so they will look as natural parts of your illustration. Behind the rocks I put few bushes of a darker value, so the boulders will slightly pop from the canvas. I drew a little puddle on the road. Main principle here is very simple. Remember that water always reflects everything. Sky above, the grass, trees, or whatever is around. So in our case, I made a simple selection with the lasso tool and fill it with blue color. And then I paint a cloud above it. To be fair, I didn't give enough love to this area in this tutorial, rather set a spot for it. To achieve a believable countryside road, I add some color variation on it. Let's imagine that this road is made of sand, pebbles, small sticks, clay areas, soil. Don't forget about the cast shadow from the grass. However small it is, it also produces shadow. When you're working on the details, create a separate layer and draw a few grass blades above the darkest areas. Make sure that it looks like a stem. It has a thinner end. To achieve it, you may erase unnecessary part of your brush strokes with a sharp eraser. In my case, it is a flat brush. Here is one more hack that you may try to get a better shaded picture. Create a separate layer. Pick a lasso tool and select few areas where the shadow from the clouds should be. Fill these areas with purple and dark blue color. Set the blending mode on the layer into multiply or overlay mode and reduce opacity to 30%. Then open the menu and add motion or Gaussian blur to this layer. Take an eraser and clean up a little bit. Now you have a slightly more interesting shaded areas. If you are looking for more realistic appearance, I suggest to study real-life reference photos. I think here we managed to cover the main approach of an effective grass meadow painting. I hope this video was helpful for you and you've learned something new. Stay tuned for more tutorials and time-lapse drawings. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hug that subscribe button and see you in my next one. Cheers!